Pokemon is a classic kids anime that has been around for over 25 years. From the first few episodes of Ash's adventure, the anime has embraced queer themes like cross-dressing and other nods to LGBTQIA+ ideas, without being anywhere close to overt. This was a kids anime in the 90s, after all, which basically guaranteed that any confirmation of characters being queer or anything of the type wasn't on the table. Obviously, that didn't stop the anime, especially the main series villains Team Rocket, from hints of being very gay or very queer. This project looks to talk about what I've spotted within the show, usually within the Team Rocket crew, that I think could be connections to the LGBTQIA+ community. I'll be working my way through the 9 generations or regions of the Pokemon anime. This series will only be covering LGBTQIA+ themes within the anime, not within the games, manga, cards, or other media. With that in mind, let's dive into the queer themes within Ash's journey through Kanto and the Orange Islands. Team Rocket in Kanto and the Orange Islands. Team Rocket, especially Jessie and James, are the most queer characters within the series, at least in my opinion. This starts with double entendres, which are obviously just fun little jokes for an older audience, but I get a chuckle out of viewing them in a queer light as well.
It's times like these that make me want to go straight.
That's a big Pokemon.
So size does matter.
But as the series goes on, it's obvious that James is a very sensitive person, crying at events like Meowth translating Pikachu's attempt to beat Lieutenant Surge. But just one episode later, 15 episodes into the original anime, James dresses in feminine clothing, pitching his voice up and overall making himself out to be a girl without complaint. This even includes skipping away with Jessie, away from Ash and company. Over the course of the show, James is often seen in feminine outfits like this, from a hula girl outfit, to dresses, to dressing as a nurse, or even as one of the police force, Officer Jenny, as of course that is one of the running jokes of the Pokemon anime. The police force is only made up of Officer Jennies, and Pokemon centers are only run by Nurse Joys and Chanseys. There have only been very rare exceptions to this rule/joke within the show. I've only ever heard James complain about this feminine persona once, near the end of the original anime.
And next time we steal men's clothes.
Enough talk.
I believe this is a confirmation that overall, James is pretty confident in any clothing. In some situations, Jessie is also seen in what could be called more masculine clothing. The gender swap is seen for both members of this Team Rocket group. She is seen a couple of times in pants, as opposed to her regular skirts and dresses. Overall, though, James seems to be the one doing most of the cross-dressing. Now, there are also a few things that, though I can't say these are definitely queer, they definitely do give me very gay vibes, just like the double entendres. By the second episode of the anime, we see James leaving behind a rose, and this is a semi-regular recurring sight throughout the anime at different points in time. But something about that just looks very gay. There is also a rose shot onto the gun of an army vehicle. Like, this flower is stuck on by a little plunger, like some sort of little gay messenger flower. Now, these are the only 2 occurrences that stuck out to me with James and the rose, but it does appear multiple more times throughout the anime, usually within the Team Rocket motto. Within the Orange Islands series, this cross-dressing and comfort, no matter the gender expression, continues with James. Although it happens a little bit less throughout the Orange Islands, it is still present with James, even with him being protective over the props he uses with his disguises, such as a parasol which Brock steals in order to sulk when he reappears near the end of the Orange Island series. It is within the Orange Islands that it's hinted at that James does still identify as a man, through saying in the often changed Team Rocket motto,
Baby, you're not prepared for trouble.
Lady, I'm not gonna make it double.
Jessie does partake in a subversion of expectations within the Orange Islands as well, as she wears a tuxedo against James's wedding dress near the end of the series. Jessie definitely doesn't get to explore different clothing expressions nearly as much as James. This could be due to costumes being more feminine-leaning, but also due to the way that society views women in masculine attire more acceptably and normally than the opposite. Ash and company. Within Ash's group of friends, it's generally a positive but still very heteronormative group of people. Brock is the main example of this, with his girl-crazy attitude that's seen in basically all of his appearances.
Brock just can't say no to a pretty girl.
On occasion, Misty is hinted or confused for a girlfriend of Ash. This belief is quite quickly quashed by both parties. For example, episode 23 of the Orange Islands. Ash does, at one point in time, dress and pretend to be a girl in order to gain access to the all-girls Celadon gym. He's relatively uncomfortable with it, but does take on a new name of Ashley during the episode, with the help of Team Rocket. However, this is very much the exception rather than the rule, both in Team Rocket actually helping Ash, and also in Ash dressing in feminine clothes. On occasion, Brock does dress up in a pink apron and can be a little feminine in his attitudes overall, but is definitely very heteronormative and girl-crazy. Misty is a little bit of a tomboy, but still definitely embraces that all-about shopping attitude often seen in the late 90s, early 2000s media of the time. General observations. Over the course of what I'm going to call the first Pokemon region in the anime, there's a lot of little scenes that I feel do also have queer themes, even though they aren't necessarily about the main characters. For example, something about the owner of the Chansey in episode 28 of the original anime seems very stereotypically queer, or especially in the first part of the episode, though of course nothing is confirmed. But when it comes to transgender rep, I feel that the anime sets a very clear boundary when it comes to the names of Pokemon. Whenever a Pokemon evolves, it is either a seamless or near seamless transition of the characters adapting to using the newly evolved Pokemon's name for them, much like using the real name of a trans person instead of their dead name. I like to headcanon that this means that the world of Pokemon is generally very trans-inclusive. Both a racing announcer in the original series correcting himself to use Rapidash's name when evolved, and Ash and company adapting to using Gyarados' name after evolving on the Orange Islands. Another little thing that I found was in the Kangaskhan Boy episode. That was the theme of family, found family, and acceptance. These are often very prominent themes within queer spaces and queer media. Throughout the episode, the boy finds a new family within the clan of the Kangaskhan in the jungle. However, the boy's real parents do come to claim him before eventually giving in and joining him in the jungle with the Kangaskhan. I feel that this is a great little message of family that is often prominent and present within queer media. Found family within the Kangaskhan that originally helped the young boy after losing his parents, then of acceptance when the boy's original family joins him instead of trying to discourage him and whisk him away from the family that he has now. And in general, Team Rocket has a very found family kind of dynamic amongst themselves. They dive into the pasts of all three members of the Pikachu stealing crew throughout the Kanto arc, but they always stick together in the end. And I just wanted to highlight a very cute version of the ever slightly changing Team Rocket motto that was used in episode 16 of the Orange Islands arc.
I'm a friend who needs you too.
Make it double, we both need you.
You too.
You protect us both from desperation.
You unite us all in jubilation.
You help chase away our loneliness.
You're a mess, but we love you nevertheless.
Jesse,
James.
Team Rocket's friendship never ends.
So let's set sail on our ship of friends.
In an episode that focused on Meowth potentially considering leaving the group for people who are giving him more respect, the claim of friendship does a lot to bring the trio together. So I especially enjoyed that change-up of the Team Rocket motto. Now, there wasn't a ton of queerness or queer themes within the over 100 episodes of the Pokemon anime that I have watched so far. However, there was enough to make a video on, so I think that I'm going to continue and see what different kind of queer themes I can see in the Pokemon anime moving forward. This was the first in a whole series exploring queerness in the whole Pokemon world. I hope that you enjoyed the first exploration into the Kanto region. Each subsequent video will be exploring a new region and a new point in Ash's Pokemon catching adventure. So with that in mind, the next episode in this series will be Ash's adventure through the Johto region. I don't have any sort of schedule for the release of these upcoming videos, as I aim for these to be thorough looks through all the regions that Ash has visited, trying to catch them all. Subscribe and turn on notifications if you don't want to miss Ash's and Team Rocket's queer adventures through the Johto region and beyond. If you have any subjects about mental health or LGBTQIA+ topics that you'd like to see covered, please let me know down in the comments below. As always, my resources are in the description. Thanks for watching the OCD NB. Stay safe out there.